Howdy folks, welcome to Katie Phillips Scrapbook Designs. I'm Katie and today we're going to be working on the cover for the Reach for the Stars album. For this album we're going to use the Theater of Stars collection by Recollections, and this is going to be a chunk of an album. There is a lot of paper in this collection and I absolutely love the designs. So I'm going to try to use up as much of this as I can. So let's start with the dimensions for the chipboard. We've got two pieces at 6 by 8 and one piece at 4 by 8. And I've already added double-sided tape to most of the chipboard. Next up, we've got, this is going to be the spine cover, the spine wrap, whatever you want to call it, for the outside of the spine, and it is 7 inches wide by 10 inches tall. And we have a couple of 8.5 by 11 pieces of gray cardstock that we're going to be attaching this to. First, I need to mark the halfway point from side to side on this cardstock. So I need to draw a line down the center this way. So let me grab my ruler and I'll be right back. Since this is a 7-inch wide piece of pattern paper, we're going to draw a line at the 3.5 inch. See, that's not, is that 3.5? That's 3.5 right there. And I'm going to draw one more mark at 3.5 inches. And I'm going to line the straight edge up with these two marks. And I'm actually going to put my pencil on the mark so that I know that it's lined up with the mark. And I'm going to draw a line. I'm not going to go all the way to the top or all the way to the bottom, but I'm going to get pretty close. Now we've got a line in the center, and I'm going to take this 4 by 8 piece of cardstock and I'm going to draw a mark at 2 inches, come down a little bit, draw another mark at 2 inches, and I'm gonna go all the way over the double-sided tape backing and everything. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna come over to the other side because that was the wrong side. I'm gonna repeat it. So 2 inches, 2 inches. This is the side that's gonna be face up when we attach it to the spine wrap, so this is the side that we need the line on. Okay, I'll set that aside for just a sec. We're going to burnish down. And I have actually also inked all the edges on this page with Distress Oxide Black Soot. We're going to add the gray cardstock and I am also going to add a line. Oh, you know what? This is going to be matted, so I'm not going to worry about adding glue. Am I? Yes, I am. I'm going to add glue just to be safe. And I still have not cleaned off my nozzle. I really need to. All right. we're going to repeat this for the other side. Except this time I'm going to get closer to the edge. Been a long time since I've done a spine wrap like this, so those of you who are really experienced with it, I beg your patience. And now we're going to get the spine piece adhered down. And I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. I'm going to pull all the release paper off. I'm going to add glue. This is actually really thick pattern paper, so I'm not too concerned about the liquid glue causing it to, have waves and bubbles and stuff. So I'm about an inch from either side and I'm lining up these lines. So if my math is correct, then the spine is centered. It's got it lined up all the way from top to bottom. All right, next up, we're going to add the front and back covers. And for that, we're going to add glue, liquid glue, and I don't think I've burnished down the double-sided tape, so I'll do that real quick. Probably should do that before you add liquid glue, just in case you do like what I just did and accidentally swipe your folding tool through the liquid glue. That can be messy. Now, if you're not real confident in your ability to lay down the chipboard straight, you can always pull off one corner of double-sided tape release paper at a time, and I'll do that with the next one just so that y'all can see how that's done in case you've never done it before. We're going to line it up about a 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to give it somewhere between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch of a gap between the spine and the front cover. I think that'll end up being the front cover. Could end up being the back cover. You never know. See how straight it is. Oh wow, I actually got that pretty straight without even trying. I just cursed myself for the rest of the day. Or maybe I should go play the lottery. Remember what you said, Katie. Burnish this down before you put the glue on it. So why am I using double-sided tape and liquid glue? That is because the double-sided tape helps get good adhesion right at the edges where it tends to bubble up, and liquid glue is stronger. So for the long term, liquid glue is a better choice. Let's see, which one am I going to go with? I'm going to pull this one up, and we're just going to pull up one part of it. We're going to pull that release paper out to right here, and I've got a grip on it. I'm going to place it down where we want it, and then pull the release paper. And of course, this means that you're going to have to go dig out the rest of the release paper and find this easy to do with the Cricut tool because it's got this great hook that you can reach in there and pull and rotate the hook and get the release paper out. So let's see if I can like zoom in and focus. Sorry if the camera's making some noises. So got it hooked. Well, the way it would work is you rotate the hook and then pull it out that way. I'm gonna zoom back out and turn off the autofocus. Because that sucker gets noisy. I don't know why that lens is so noisy with the autofocus, but it is. Let's see how well we did. Yep, that's about right where I want it. And that's about right where I want it. Awesome. So now we need to cut off some of this excess on both sides. I'm just going to do that with scissors. I want to leave about an inch on both sides. Doesn't need to be straight, just needs to be gone. Now I'm going to do a shallow miter on these corners, and I'm going to come in at this angle, and then I'm going to come in at about that angle right there, but I'm only going to cut it to about 1/8 of an inch away. So I'm going to zoom in again. Right, now I'm going to repeat this for the other 3 sides. Right now I've got all 4 edges mitered. I'm going to start here with the top, and I'm just going to gently start pulling this over and folding it around the top. It helps cut back on the chance of getting cracks. Now we're ready to glue these flaps down. And we're going to pull this little tab that comes down 1 inch all the way off. I put these tabs on my covers, this little 1 inch bits of double-sided tape to help catch this flap right here at the crease. Otherwise, I've had problems with this flap bubbling up. And we're going to repeat that process on the other side. All right, now we've got both sides, top and bottom, glued down. I'm going to press down here at the corner, just like this. There's just a little bit of overhang here with a little bit of section where this top flap is kind of overhanging the edge here, and I'm just pressing that down on both sides so that we get a good crisp corner. There we go. Apparently it had a little glob in there. Pry the double-sided, or pry the release paper up. And work that slowly over. So now we've got a couple of nice neat corners right there. And this raggedy edge, that's going to be covered up with a mat. So we're going to repeat that on this side again. I'm going to press down right there so that we get this little bit of corner folded down and it doesn't stick out at a weird angle. Add some glue. And up comes the release paper. All of the release paper. Mini album. Release it all. Now, I'm going to start folding up gently, although this paper is pretty durable. Sometimes the Recollections pattern paper is not all that durable. So like I said, this is going to be a chunky album. Chunky. I don't know if I could get my fingers around one that's much wider than that. And there will be another benefit to having this line headed down the center here. I'm going to be adding a jump ring, and I'm going to use this line to find the center. So I've got it targeted here in my We Are Memory Keepers Crop-A-Dial. I'm on the bigger hole on the Crop-A-Dial, and I've got this doohickey here pulled as far back as I can. I'm going to punch that. And I found these on Amazon. I've been wanting them for a long time because I've been wanting to add jump rings to the spine of my albums. And normally I would wait to add anything with any bulk or anything that would throw off the side-to-side balance of the album until after I was already done. But this needs to go down before I mat the interior. And I want that good and flat. Yeah, that's fine like that. So now we've got a nice little jump ring here on the spine. And I'll be sure and link to the Amazon link for these in the description box down below, as well as everything else that I can find shopping online. We're going to continue decorating the outside of this album cover, and we're going to go pretty simple for the back here. So the back image is 5.5 inches squared, and it's just one of those 6x6 cut aparts that I trimmed down to 5.5 by 5.5. And I'm going to glue it to a mat that's 5 5/8 inch squared. Right. All of these edges are inked with Black Soot Distress Oxide ink. I think I want the moon facing that way, facing up. Now, we need to add the mats to the front. And again, these are already inked, and this larger mat is 5 7/8 by 7 7/8, and the smaller mat is 5 3/4 by 7 3/4. And we've got this is going to be a flip thing, and it's 7 inches wide by 4.5 inches tall. We're going to score the 7-inch side at 3.5 inches. This piece is 3 3 3/4 by 4 1/4, and this is a 3x4 cut apart from the collection. And we're going to use a magnet to keep this little flip thing closed. First, we're going to add these larger mats to the cover. Okay, correction on the size of these mats. This mat is 5 3/4 inches by 7 3/4, and the smaller one is 5.5 by 7.5. I thought I was going down to 1/8 inch differences, but I went down to 1/4 inch for the cover. Most of the stuff on the inside is going to be 1/8 inch. And if you really wanted to, and what might look cool, is a 1/3 mat done at 5 7/8 by 7 7/8 in white. So before we go any further, I need to score and ink this piece. You may have noticed that I did not ink this side at all. That's because this side is going to be laying down on the mat and it won't be visible. Okay. Need 2 magnets for this. Put the first magnet down on the cover directly and secure it with some double-sided tape. And I'm just going to eyeball the center right on top of that fleur-de-lis. That looks good. And let's see. I'm going to need to put this piece down so that I can get running through this thought process in my brain here. So obviously thought processes happen in the brain. That was silly, but thinking through how this piece is going to be laid down in my head here, and this needs to go down first so that we can get the second magnet positioned correctly. And I'm just going to eyeball the center here. I'm probably wildly off. That's okay. And I'm going to drop that second magnet right there and stick it down with some double-sided tape. And now assemble this mat here real quick. Outer cover is complete. And I think that's going to do it for now. This art video is already getting pretty long, so for the next video we will complete the interior of the cover. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more mini album related content. I release new videos every Tuesday and Friday. And if you have a question, leave me a comment in the comment section down below. I will leave links to all the materials that I use that I can find online in the description box down below. Bye!